Fortunately, it was not long-lived. I think it might have lasted an hour or a bit more. But the problem with this kind of pollution, as we've known as ESG, who have sampled, monitored fumes entering neighbourhoods, is that it's wind-driven. So as much as it goes through an estate, it can go past it. So when you go to explore what could have been the cause, maybe it's already passed, and very difficult to trap it down. But given the wind direction, the idea that that a certain section of Gibraltar was affected, and I believe it was west-southwesterly. So, you have a wind direction that suggests a certain area could be responsible. And I know some of the complainants were talking about the dockyard, they were talking about Extension Jetty, they were talking about the port, but it's all linked to this rotten egg smell, which is usually linked with, can either be drains or can be related to fuel, to old fuel, to the cleaning out of tanks, of pipeworks, of particular low-grade fuel being bunkered and so on.
So we're talking about the Friday incident, but you've also drawn attention to Saturday, when you say that there was black smoke that was coming from some bunkering vessels.
Yeah, that's right. So, having spent a few hours of my Saturday following up on the fumes that had affected community, I was sort of going to stop and have some lunch. And then I got another message about bunkering ships, which are so big that they really look like they're on shore. And one of them, whether it was the delivery barge, the bunkering barge, or the ship, had expelled this massive cloud of smoke, which, because of the wind direction, brought it straight in to the beach and the beach-goers. And it just, because of the winds, the seas have been quite choppy on this part of Gibraltar. And so they don't, normally when it's very calm, the ships are pushed out to bunker. But when it's rough, really they shouldn't be bunkering, perhaps, if it's very rough. And then anything that happens, whether it's a spill or air pollution, will affect people.
Before we let you go, Janet, the Environment Minister, John Cortes, told Parliament just a few weeks ago that there is a continued downward trend in the concentration of pollutants across the 20 years that the Gibraltar Air Quality Monitoring Network has been operational.
By and large, look, we had 3 heavily polluting power stations. Yeah, they were pumping out tremendous amounts of pollution, and they've been closed in the last 10 years at least. So that's a big difference. I think our cars are also cleaning up. That is helping. But I still think that we have to do more. Like, for example, we talked about the averaging out of a lot of the measuring of the pollution that we do. And while Gibraltar is getting better, according to the World Health Authority, levels have to be much lower to truly improve the impacts on health. So it's one thing to be legal, it's another thing to be health-wise.